Official translations and HD images of Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 262.5 are out, and we gotta talk about a couple things. First things first is some people were saying that it wasn't a recorder, but it was a phone that Inumaki was speaking through that made Sukuna freeze. However, whenever we zoom in, it actually shows record, stop, and play. So this was definitely in every single way a recorder. So I think that my theory still holds true to where Inumaki probably made some kind of binding vow where after the recorder was played, then the blowback would be received onto Inumaki. And really the only other second thing that we need to correct is that it's possible the domain actually didn't break. So originally, the rough translation said that he pulled the recorder from outside of the domain in order to freeze Sukuna to use Hollow Purple. But now the TCB translations say this was within the domain expansion, which means it's also possible that Yuta didn't fail to use blue. What I mean by that is we see Yuta do this hand symbol like Gojo did whenever he was tossing Sukuna around. Sukuna thought that maybe he just misused it, but then the next thing we know, he's trying to use purple. So if he couldn't effectively use blue, why would he use purple? But since we know that the recorder was inside of the domain, not outside of the domain, it's actually possible what he was doing with blue was doing a small blue motion to move the recorder to a better position, not actually trying to move Sukuna. Which Sukuna, of course, just deemed as Yuta not being able to use the limitless curse technique to the best of its ability because it's a super complicated technique. When in reality, it could have just been Yuta positioning the recorder in a way that would make sense so that he could surprise Sukuna. Which would make sense because why would Yuta, who knows that Hollow Purple is the strongest ability and knows he has to chant it, try to just chant it right in front of Sukuna with no preparation, knowing that Sukuna can punch past infinity with domain amplification? Even Sukuna questioning it, saying, doesn't Yuta know why Gojo had to use this ad-lib version of Hollow Purple? And we know Yuta has a high battle IQ, so surely he could have figured out why Gojo had to use the roundabout Hollow Purple by combining red and blue far away rather than chanting it right in front of Sukuna's face. And since we know the domain didn't break, this happened within the domain, then yeah, I think Yuta's 2000 battle IQ play that we all talked about is just even better than we thought. I think he was genuinely just setting up the recorder to pause Sukuna and tricking him thinking he didn't know how to use blue. Those are really the only two things that changed, but I think those were some pretty big changes considering the translations. But let me know what you guys think.